Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Life has a way of teaching you what no classroom ever could. See, we've been told that love is about chasing, clinging, holding on so tight that we lose ourselves. But the truth is this: real power shows up when you stop begging to be chosen and start choosing yourself. I came to tell somebody today, men are not just drawn to beauty, they are drawn to strength. They are drawn to women who can stand on their own 2 feet, who know their worth, who can walk away when the situation no longer serves them, because detachment is not about coldness, it's about confidence. And confidence, oh, that's magnetic. When a woman understands who she is, when she recognizes her value, she stops chasing, stops pleading, stops trying to convince anyone of her worth. Detachment is not a game, it's a revelation that says, I am enough as I am. When you detach, you're not rejecting love, you are rejecting the version of love that asks you to shrink, to settle, to silence yourself just to be accepted. You are telling the world, I will not compromise my peace to earn attention. And that kind of posture is powerful. Men are not drawn to desperation, they are drawn to dignity. They don't even always know how to articulate it. Something deep inside them recognizes when a woman is rooted in self-respect. It is like a fragrance, invisible but undeniable. See, when you detach, you refuse to let someone else's inconsistency control your emotions. You stop living on the roller coaster of their approval. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. Stop waiting by the door. Stop begging for crumbs of affection. Detachment is the decision to say, if you cannot love me in fullness, I will not allow you to love me in fractions. And that is where the shift happens, because now you have taken back the power that you unknowingly handed over. People treat you according to the standard you set. And when you set the standard high, the right ones rise to meet it and the wrong ones fade away. There is nothing louder than quiet confidence. You don't have to yell, don't have to argue, don't have to demand to be seen. Your presence speaks for you. Men are intrigued by that kind of quiet strength. They sense that you are not afraid to be alone, that you are not clinging out of fear, and it makes them step up. A woman who can walk away is not bitter, she is free. And freedom is attractive. Freedom says, I want you, but I do not need you to complete me. That is the difference between attachment born out of fear and connection born out of choice. Detachment allows you to love without losing yourself. It keeps you from pouring so much into someone else that you run dry. And it's only when you respect yourself enough to pull back when necessary, you teach others how to handle your heart with care. And this is not just about romance. It is about every area of life. Friends, coworkers, even family members respond differently when they realize you are not available for disrespect, drama, or dysfunction. The power of detachment is that it protects your energy. It allows you to stay grounded no matter what someone else chooses to do. You are no longer at the mercy of moods, no longer swayed by temporary attention, no longer anxious about being left behind. Instead, you operate from a place of wholeness, and that wholeness is magnetic. Men are not just drawn to beauty, they are drawn to a woman who carries herself like she knows what she brings to the table. They are drawn to the one who is willing to leave the table if she is no longer honored there. Confidence is not something you put on like makeup. It is something that grows from deep within. It is the way you walk into a room without apologizing for taking up space. It is the way you speak without lowering your voice so that no one feels uncomfortable. Confidence is magnetic because it communicates something that words cannot. I know who I am. I know what I deserve. I refuse to settle for less. Men are wired to respond to that energy. They are drawn to a woman who doesn't have to compete for attention because she already carries the assurance that she is worth being pursued. Confidence is attractive because it removes the pressure. When a woman is secure, she is not anxiously seeking validation every second. She is not overanalyzing every text message or doubting every compliment. She trusts her own intuition. She trusts her own beauty. She trusts her own value. That trust creates an atmosphere of peace, and peace is irresistible. Man feels it when he's in the presence of a confident woman. His spirit relaxes, his mind engages, his respect grows. There is no game playing, no manipulation, no drama. She is simply standing in the fullness of her worth, and that strength challenges him to rise higher. See, confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance shouts, but confidence whispers. Arrogance is fragile and needs constant applause, but confidence is rooted and unshakable. When you are confident, you do not have to prove yourself to anyone. You do not have to post every moment of your life just to show you are happy. You do not have to compare yourself to the next woman because you know your lane, your purpose, and your timing. Confidence allows you to be at peace when others are rushing, to be calm when others are competing, to be secure when others are insecure. And that calmness draws people, and men notice when you carry yourself like you belong because of who you are with, but because of who you are, they notice when you look them in the eye without fear, when you speak with conviction, when you smile, because you are genuinely happy with yourself, not just happy because of their attention. That kind of confidence is rare, and rare things are valuable. When a woman carries herself with that kind of assurance, she is not chasing love. Love is chasing her. Confidence creates clarity. When you are confident, you are not confused about what you want. You are not sending mixed signals or entertaining what does not align with your standards. You know how to say yes with joy and no without guilt. You know how to celebrate yourself when no one else is clapping. You know how to affirm yourself when no one else is speaking life into you. That level of security is what makes you stand out, because you are no longer dependent on external approval to feel complete. This is why confidence is the ultimate attraction, because it is not a performance, it is a presence. It radiates from you before you even say a word. It makes people curious about you, makes them want to know what makes you so grounded, so secure, so sure of yourself. And when a man encounters that, it challenges him to show up fully, to bring his best, to match the energy of a woman who is already whole. Desire cannot breathe without space. When everything is too close, too constant, too available, it loses its value. Space creates room for appreciation, room for longing, room for pursuit. When you give someone space, you allow them to feel the absence of your presence. You allow them to notice what life feels like without your energy, your conversation, your smile. And that absence awakens a hunger that was being numbed by overexposure. When you stop overgiving, stop oversharing, stop over-explaining, you shift the dynamic. Suddenly, your presence becomes a privilege, not a guarantee. There is power in not always being there, power in not always answering on the first ring, power in not always rearranging your schedule to accommodate someone who has not prioritized you. Space says, I am not going to suffocate this connection by constantly hovering over it. I will give it room to grow. Healthy relationships need oxygen, and oxygen is created by boundaries. When you step back, you give a man the chance to miss you, to think about you, to realize the difference you make in his life. And missing you is what makes him move toward you. Many women are afraid of space because they fear that stepping back means losing the person completely. Space does not push away the right one. It filters out the wrong ones. If he is truly invested, space will draw him closer. If he was only there for convenient, space will reveal his lack of effort. Either way, space gives you clarity, and clarity is priceless. Space also allows you to recalibrate. When you are constantly entangled in someone else's emotions, it is hard to hear your own thoughts, hard to recognize your own needs. Stepping back helps you regain perspective, helps you check your own heart, helps you make sure you are connecting out of wholeness rather than out of fear. That is attractive because it shows emotional maturity. A man can sense when you are giving him room, not as a punishment, but as an act of respect. Respect for him, respect for yourself, respect for the connection. Space creates pursuit because pursuit requires a gap. If there is no distance to close, there is nothing to chase. Men are wired to move toward what they value, to pursue what they desire. When you create space, you give him the opportunity to step into his natural role as a pursuer. You allow him to put forth effort, to plan, to initiate, to show you with his actions how much he values you. And the more he invests, the more he appreciates what he has. There is a quiet mystery in space that keeps the fire alive. It keeps the relationship from becoming predictable, keeps the conversations from becoming stale. Space allows anticipation to build. It makes the next call, the next date, the next moment together more meaningful. When you create room for someone to come toward you, the moments of connection become richer because they were chosen, not forced. And that choice deepens the bond. Space is not about punishment, silence, or games. It is about alignment. It is about letting someone show you where they stand without you constantly pushing them into position. It is about holding your ground and allowing pursuit to happen naturally, which makes both people value the connection even more when they come back together. Emotional independence is one of the most powerful qualities a woman can carry. It is the ability to stand strong in your own emotions without being completely swept away by someone else's. It means you can love deeply, but still think clearly. You can be vulnerable, but not lose your voice. You can open your heart without surrendering your sanity. Men are not only drawn to beauty and kindness, They are drawn to women who have mastered themselves, who can feel without falling apart, who can care without being consumed. When you are emotionally independent, you are not riding the highs and lows of someone else's mood. You are not spiraling every time they are distant or over the moon. Only when they are present, you know how to center yourself, how to nurture your own joy, how to keep living your life even while you are loving someone. This kind of emotional stability is rare and magnetic because it communicates strength without shutting out intimacy. It says, I am here because I want to be, not because I am terrified of being alone. That truth liberates both people. Emotional independence also protects your heart from manipulation. When you are whole within yourself, you are not easily controlled by guilt trips, silent treatments, or emotional games. You can see clearly what is happening and respond with wisdom instead of reacting out of fear. That discernment allows you to choose better relationships, to set healthy boundaries, to walk away when necessary without falling apart. And when you do choose to stay, it is because you truly want to, not because you feel trapped. This strength does not make you cold. In fact, it allows you to be warmer because you are not desperate for someone to fill every void in you. You can actually enjoy the relationship more. You can give freely without secretly resenting what you give. You can listen without defensiveness, love without clinging, connect without controlling. And that freedom creates safety for a man to open up as well. He senses that you are not going to collapse under the weight of his imperfections. And that safety invites him to be more honest, more intentional, more consistent. Emotional independence is not about pretending you don't care. It is about caring in a way that does not compromise your mental health. It is about saying, I love you, but I love me too. It is about knowing that you can weather heartbreak, recover from disappointment, and rebuild after setbacks. That resilience is incredibly attractive because it shows that your happiness is not entirely dependent on what someone else does or doesn't do. Men are drawn to women who are anchored, women who can express emotion, yes, but who will not let emotion dictate every decision. When you are emotionally independent, you make better choices in love because you are not choosing from a place of emptiness. You can take your time, watch actions instead of just listening to words, and decide if this person truly aligns with your values. You can say no to what doesn't serve you without fearing that you will never have another chance. That quiet confidence shifts the power dynamic because you are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are doing the choosing. That choice is what makes the connection stronger and more authentic. The ability to walk away is not weakness. It is power. It is the ultimate demonstration of self-worth. When you are willing to leave a table where you are not respected, you teach everyone around you how to treat you. Walking away does not mean you are angry, bitter, or unforgiving. It means you refuse to negotiate your dignity. And that decision shifts everything. Men feel it when a woman has the strength to leave situations that do not honor her. They may not always admit it out loud, but it commands their respect because it shows that you cannot be kept by convenience. You can only be kept by care. When you stay in a place where you are not valued, you teach others that you will accept whatever they give you. When you walk away, you send a clear message: I am not afraid to lose you if it means keeping myself. That message is powerful because it is rare. Too many people stay in relationships, friendships, even jobs out of fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of the unknown. But walking away is an act of faith. It says, I believe there is better for me than this. That belief opens doors that staying would have kept shut. Walking away also preserves your self-respect. Every time you ignore red flags, every time you silence your own voice to keep the peace, every time you accept less than you deserve, a piece of you erodes. The moment you choose yourself, the moment you decide that peace is more important than proximity, you begin to rebuild what you lost. That inner strength becomes visible. It changes the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you interact with the world. And that transformation is deeply attractive because it radiates confidence and clarity. Men are drawn to women who have standards because standards create structure. Standards separate who is ready from who is just playing games. When a woman can walk away, it challenges a man to either rise to meet her or release her, but either way, it prevents her from wasting her time. And time is too precious to waste. Walking away frees you to be available for what is actually aligned with your purpose. It frees you to attract someone who doesn't just want you, but who is prepared to value you. The power of walking away is that it forces growth. It forces the other person to evaluate what they lost, to reconsider how they showed up, to decide whether they are willing to change. And even if they do not change, you have grown simply by making the choice to put yourself first. Growth is attractive because it means you are not stagnant. It means you are not willing to stay stuck in cycles that break you. It means you are becoming the best version of yourself. That version is magnetic. Walking away is not about pride. It is about protection. It protects your heart, your mind, and your future. It ensures that you are not settling for temporary comfort at the expense of long-term happiness. When you can walk away, you hold the power because you are no longer waiting for someone else to decide your value. You have already decided it for yourself, and that decision draws the kind of love that will match the strength you showed when you left.